Welcome, acolytes. Right now I am reacting to RevSys, the so huge account crash out over anime characters and got immediately exposed for own alarming behavior. So a anti-anime fan, let's just call them anti-loli, anti-anime, anti-everything. It turns out that, well, those people aren't the most clearest of them all, so let's just see what this is about. This is just, at this point, it's just normal behavior. Somebody is extremely against something, and then it turns out that they do the thing themselves. Fair enough.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So it's been a while since we've looked at a Twitter gimmick account have an absolute meltdown, and that's exactly what we're going to look at today. So what are gimmick accounts on social media? Well, they're profiles that are essentially dedicated to a certain gimmick, telling a certain type of joke, posting a certain type of content, and that's all they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to get into political stuff or share their opinions on things. They're just supposed to focus on their gimmick. Now, the account we're talking about today is called Earth Updates. They have...
My gimmick Twitter account is basically posting art in my videos. So I don't know if that counts, because I make some politics sometimes.
Over 700,000 followers, and they would have one of the biggest meltdowns I have ever seen in my many years of covering this sort of content. So what do they do with their gimmick? They post Earth updates, like this one saying patch some low resolution areas. Okay, whatever. But over the past month, they have been hemorrhaging followers. They lost 53,000 and growing followers in the past 30 days. Now, there's really four things that led to this. Number one, it began with a joke they made about a content creator who had passed away not that long ago. A lot of people found that in very poor taste for the Wholesome Chungus gimmick account, so that lost them some followers. Then they decided to get political. That's not a good idea because you're a gimmick account. Nobody gives a shit about your political opinions. And then...
By the way, not just gimmicks account, but also Hollywood stars, YouTubers that don't mesh their freaking fingers at it. Just, if you're not politically active, just don't do it. It's so simple, just don't. It's too risky for you.
The next thing was really bad. They decided to start a cryptocurrency, a meme coin based on their account. That was a disaster. They deleted that whole campaign almost instantly due to backlash. And then we see another big drop in follows over the past 2 days or so, resulting in thousands of more followers leaving. And what is that topic about? Well, if you've been watching this for a while, you're probably not surprised. Lolicon. Yep, once again, we have another large gimmick account on Twitter losing their composure and losing support over this type of fictional content. Now, over the past year or so, we've gotten a lot of new followers. I haven't talked about this topic as much as in the past, so if you're new here, let me give you some good backstory on all of this stuff and clear up some misinformation, because Twitter loves to spread that sort of stuff. When it comes to the topic of lolicon, lolicon just means a petite body type and cute aesthetics in fictional content. That's why characters like Rebecca from Cyberpunk, despite being in their mid to late 20s, are considered a lolly. It's just their body type, and even Studio Trigger refers to their own character as such. However, a lot of people get this definition wrong, and they use it to attack people, and I think it goes way too far when you start watering down serious terms and accusing people of serious crimes over fictional content. Now, you can find this stuff disgusting, repulsive, degenerate, what have you. That's totally within your rights. You're allowed to do that, but I think if you go the extra step of using it to hurt people or accuse them of crimes and things like that, you've gone too far. Now,
Correctly. He's totally correct. Every anti has the right to actually say this, but everybody who is a fan of it, like me, can also say, get the fuck out of my way, do not harm me, I have my fun with it. Not that way, you pervy.
Thing I think everyone watching this video can agree on, and that's going to be the focus of this video, is that nobody wants to be lectured to on fictional content by someone who consumes pretty much the same exact type of fictional content, and they definitely don't want to be lectured on the subject by someone who's putting real life children in harm's way, and that's what we're dealing with this video today and this gimmick account. So they began a crusade 3 days ago against lolicons, right? The Earth update that they've removed lolicons. Now you'll notice it got swiftly deleted after a very minor amount of backlash, by the way, only 14 quotes, but unfortunately for them in their very frail ego, they got ratioed in the quotes and in the replies, which means those users got more likes than the gimmick account here, and they got very humiliated, and they decided to delete this post and try again later. And this isn't anything new. As pointed out here, they have been routinely making the same exact type of post pretty much every couple of months for about a year and a half now. It's very easy engagement bait, and apparently they think this is something that'll get them a lot of new followers. Now, a lot of people look at this and say, hey, they're just trying to engagement bait. Stop paying attention to these people. They just want to farm that cool Twitter ad revenue. Well, they posted their own L's only a few weeks ago, posting their payouts. These are bi-weekly payouts, by the way. Or in their case, I believe it's actually a monthly payout. It's even worse. So, yeah, they say here, this is the revenue payouts they've gotten for this account. Again, over 700,000 followers tweeting multiple times a day, very regularly, okay? They make...
That's nothing. That's honestly nothing. I mean, you also don't do anything by posting, so...
Made in the last month, $11. $11 posting nonstop. I'm telling you, Twitter ad revenue is garbage. I've been saying this from day one. So when you see all these engagement bait slop accounts tweeting nonstop all day and rage baiting to get engagement, you don't believe them when they try to act like they're farming a lot of money. They're getting nothing. They're working for chump change and barely even covering the subscription cost of having Twitter Premium that allows you to play ads in the first place. Now, of course, seeing what happened in that last post, they tried to reignite the magic and try to come back with the same post. And again, they would delete this post after getting really dunked on, this time with 96 quotes before they finally deleted, getting ratioed by dozens of users making fun of them in the quotes and replies. And this time, they got hit with a community note that says this account has posted the same thing multiple times in the past in order to engagement bait / farm for likes, which is disallowed by X and breaks the platform's TOS. Now, you would think they'd be done at this point, right? You think they would just throw in the towel? You'd be wrong. So they go back on this again within the same day, saying another Earth update. All lolicons are predators by definition. And unfortunately for this homunculi running this account, or whoever posted this among their staff, quote unquote, they can't...
I don't remember that PDF files need to be in a... I actually thought that the children that are in this need to exist at least. Oh,
can't read. It says genre of fictional media. So they already messed this whole thing up. And again, I've said this before, Google is not the arbiter of truth. When you search something on Google, this little answer you get here is not the law. It's not even something that represents what a lot of people feel. It's just a suggestion based on what some users have said. That's all it is. It doesn't make it a truth. And if you're using Google search results as a defense to whatever you're saying, you're already cooked at this point. But another account would say this: fictional is right there in the definition, means they aren't real. You'd think a parody account would know the definition of fiction. Apparently not. Where they would ratio that post, and then Earth Updates would reply saying, "You're clearly too stupid to understand the concept yourself, so allow me to explain it to you. Looking at children depicted in a sexual manner, fictional or not, is wrong and disgusting, you freak." Well, they've been saying it's illegal throughout all these posts, so they mean that too.
Okay.
And because of what they've said here and the standards they've created, well, I guess you better get your affairs in order, because throughout this chaos, right in the middle of all of these posts crying about this fictional content, they posted this Earth update, added an alternative timeline to Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And as you can see, you have this character who is pregnant and having this one holding them from behind. And that's the character Greg, and I forget the other character's name. It's been a long time since I've seen this franchise. But yeah, the joke here is that a 12-year-old male got pregnant and his friend is responsible. But this is the person lecturing you on fictional content. And fictional content, by the way, that's just a body type and has nothing to do with age. And this person is making jokes about a 12-year-old character who even got, this ended up getting them noted again. The king of getting noted over here. The Got Noted Again award goes to this individual who's just racking them up at this point. But yeah.
To be fair, it's still... The wimpy kid isn't real. So at least that.
Very hypocritical for them to say this. And I think we all know why.
Okay.
And then things would get even worse. They would say, ha ha ha, they removed the community note. Lollies are predators confirmed. Thank you, community notes. So they would basically beg their Discord server and other people, probably in private, I would presume as well, to help downvote this initial note on the previous tweet, and they would get it removed, at least temporarily. But then that tweet, celebrating the note being removed on the previous tweet, would get hit with another note saying in the commentary on pedophilia diagnostic criterion, the DSM-5, there's no reference to animated characters. We all know this. There's no science, there's no studies, there's nothing to back up any of this. Anyone acting on this stuff, they're acting on emotion. They're trying to get you emotionally charged and accepting whatever beliefs they have about fictional content because they don't have a legitimate argument. They're just trying to basically make their emotion a fact. Instead of just saying, this stuff grosses me out, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to see it, I'm going to move on with my life. They instead make up lies.
Yes, and this would be fine. Then the problem wouldn't even exist, to be honest. Because if you personally have a point of disagreement, that's fine. Most people that aren't freaks understand that. They understand that human beings are different and think differently and have different experiences in their life. So, acolytes, if you have someone you disagree with it, as long as it is on a matter where it's just fine, it's fine. I think we all understand that if somebody drowns puppies, that there is something wrong with that person, like to the extreme. But if it's something like, well, I think that the color blue is bad, you think that the color orange is bad, we disagree on this one, nobody will get aroused by this. Nobody will emotionally try to manipulate you by just going in and saying, no, this isn't here, there, anywhere. No, it's fine. A lot of the times, people just disagree.
And say crazy stuff like this. And things would get even more pathetic when they would share this screenshot showing what they believe is legal proof that this content is illegal. Unfortunately, they shared the Protect Act of 2003. Now, we've talked about this in years past. Anyone who posts this is just lacking of brain cells in the slightest degree. This is a Google search result, again, that happens, but it is sharing outdated and unconstitutional law. So the Protect Act of 2003 has been unconstitutional for over 2 decades. It was immediately ruled unconstitutionally vague because basically, per its own standard here, almost every form of art would be at jeopardy of falling under this. That's why this law was made unconstitutional. You can see this sort of rhetoric shared in the proposed community note here. And then another thing to point out here too is in the United States, the standard for this stuff is that the content in question has to be indistinguishable from a real life kid. If you hold up the quote unquote art next to a real kid, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. And that's obviously a very fair standard. And pretty much every time that's been applied through the law, it has to do with deep fakes. And yes, of course, that's abusing children by including them in these deep fakes. That's not up for debate at all. But we're not talking about that here. We're talking about just random fictional characters that don't resemble any sort of realness whatsoever. It's a massive cope, and it's super embarrassing.
And by the way, just to be clear, I agree with that. If the depiction actually resembles a real life child, person, or something like that, then we have a problem here. Because in the end of the day, if you depict a real life thing like that, even in anime term, in my opinion, that's a step too far.
That anyone would still post this, despite it being completely irrelevant legally and just shows you don't do any actual research on anything. But this is where things go from like tee-hee, ha-ha funny, like, oh, this person's a massive hypocrite, they're stupid, whatever. We've seen this before. But this is where things take a very wild turn. Okay, so you can see this user is responding to a deleted post by Earth Updates, of course, and referring to another deleted post. There were 2 different Twitter spaces posted in the last 24 hours or so by Earth Updates. They've both been deleted, and basically the topic of both was calling lolicons predators And they are some of the most insane things ever. And if you don't know what a Twitter space is, it's basically like a group call where people can join in and listen or even contribute to the conversation. So these would get a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons, at least for Earth updates. This audio, like, just brace yourself. Okay, just please brace yourself. If you have headphones, audio warning. Okay?
Okay.
What we're going to see here is Earth updates. You're going to recognize who the psycho is, and that's Earth updates here. They're talking for the majority of it. This is their response to everything going on and people trying to debunk their crazy claims. And this is the craziest meltdown I think I've ever seen. Let's give it a listen. Again, audio warning.
I like looking at little boy, little girl. Where? I like looking at little boys. Please let me look at my little boys. Please. I'm gonna cry if you don't let me look at my little girls. Please.
Wow.
Where? That's all I hear.
And then he says, that's all I hear when you guys talk. When you calmly dismiss and debunk all of their lies and their schizo posts. That's how they respond. That's how the normal people respond. And by the way, who would put that out in the ether, right? Who would ever put that quote out there, even if they're trying to mock the people they're debating? Who would ever want their voice caught in a discussion like this, caught in, memorialized forever on the internet? This will follow them forever. And obviously people are going to clown on you with it because it's batshit insane. We're going to listen to a little more. It gets, let's just say, a little dark.
That's all I hear. That's all I hear. That's all I hear.
Say that.
I hear you saying the same shit. Fuck nigga, bitch. Fuck nigga, bitch. I'd fuck you in the ass if I was there right now, you little fuck.
Okay. Well, besides the fact this person sounds like they're sitting in the coziest of suburbs. I don't know about the N-word usage there, but the last part's insane. So they threatened to R-word people in the chat. So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
This normal person is not only having this embarrassing meltdown, screaming at the top of their lungs, saying some very regrettable things in this modern day of the internet, and then they threaten to R-word someone. All of this over drawings. Yes, they have more care for drawings than they do real people. This is pretty much antis in a nutshell. And of course, immortalizing this meltdown. This is a beautiful meme.
By the way, Acolyte, just to be clear, if somebody in your life behaves like this, cut them off instantly. This is unhinged behavior. It's just a matter of time before they flip and go out on you. So, just saying.
Chef's kiss. Thank you to this user for creating this. Let's just play this because I thought it sounded like Cartman too.
I like looking at little boys. Please.
Eric, settle down.
Boys, please.
All right, that's it, Eric. You go see the counselor.
Bravo. Yep. Very good meme right there. But of course,
perfection.
The coping and the seething continues. And it gets, again, even more dark. So responding to that first Twitter space where they got absolutely humiliated, they say this: had a great time dunking on predators with the friends tonight. The sickest, most vile people in the world, and blah, 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 blah. Good night. Then they get hit with a note with two parts, a two-part here. First saying this user was previously exposed by community notes for posting sexual content depicting fictional minors. That was the Diary of a Wimpy Kid post they made. And then the next one says he also admitted he didn't care that adults were talking with minors on his Discord server in a sexual matter before he self-corrected due to his co-host expressing disapproval. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, this is where things take the predictable but disgusting turn where the people projecting about fictional content have no reason or no qualms about putting real life kids at risk.
Yeah, of course.
And this is a very crazy rabbit hole,
of course,
where you can hear a lot of opinions here. Let's start with this one right now to kind of set the background here, okay? Listen to this.
There's fucking kids that I'm calling pedophiles, and like, if you're fucking under the age of fucking 17, I don't fucking care what the hell you do, but if you're an adult looking at this shit, that's where it fucking becomes weird.
So what they're saying is, they're talking about fictional content, in this case, Lolicon, and they're saying this stuff is CP, it's illegal. And then they're saying people, including those in their Discord server, are free. Children are free to consume that supposedly illegal content, but once you become an adult, it's no more. So they're saying it's okay for kids in their community to be consuming this stuff, which they shouldn't be at all, but especially not if you already consider this stuff to be illegal. This is an insane thing to say in this conversation. Yep. But let's talk about that Discord server, by the way, which, as you can see, pointed out here by Curry Rinji. It is a 13-plus server. The first role you can select is 13 to 17 years old. Yep, they allow 13-year-olds in their server, and they also allow these 13-year-olds to select...
Oh, shit, I didn't think about that with my Discord server. I have to correct that. Oh, I just sent out the invite link. By the way, the invite link is down in the video. I hope it still works. If not, say, I didn't think about the age thing, because... I mean, can I even... At the end of the day, as long as they behave normally, and people behave normally, and just say that it's a young child, I can still ban them. How could I even stop it? Okay, I have to think about it.
They, them pronouns. Curious. Then we have this
yeah,
right
of
here.
Course, pronouns, yeah.
So very clearly, the people who are running this Earth Updates account, they're 100% aware that there's a lot of minors in their community, right? They obviously know if they have the 13 to 17 role, but in response to someone saying, how do you get so much interaction on your posts and on your server and all this stuff, they say this is only like 2-3 weeks ago, they say, a lot of kids. So they're aware there's a lot of kids in their community.
Okay.
And they have all this stuff going on. And again, there's a million screenshots going around. I'm not going to show them all because honestly, most of them are just gross. But there's a lot of kids on their Discord server saying very sexual things. You can see examples of people asking for not safe for work channels. Some people saying that they talk about this, but they're a minor. And then some people saying in defense, if they don't want to see not safe for work stuff, then that's their fault for being on an app like Discord, referring to 13 to 15-year-olds.
No, total ban. Nope. I don't want to see any NSFW on my Discord server. It's purely to talk. You can talk with each other as you wish, except it's a minor. But no, there won't ever be an NSFW channel. Maybe a roleplay channel for us to actually, so I can show you how big of a emperor I am, actually. But that's...
on the server, coming across not safe for work content. That's super weird.
Sorry.
And then this person says, I get your point, but literally every 13-year-old I see talks about not safe for work stuff. Are you kidding me? Did you just say that out loud? First of all, how many 13-year-olds do you know, you weirdo? And then on top of that, you're saying they're talking about not safe for work stuff? Like, is this a confession? What are you talking about? These are the type of people in the server, by the way. Then there's more conversations where we see Earth updates actually replying. Because one person said, I'm 15 amateur and I talk about not safe for work stuff. Where they say in response to legality issues and things, they say, Earth update says, I'm not about to get sued for not safe for work stuff. I'm not moderating a channel like that. That's so no thanks. And then the person says, I love you in response. I don't know what's going on there. Then Kurirenji points out more screenshots saying, yeah, the server is clearly safe for kids, where there's some conversations going on here, some sexual stuff. And then this person says, slides into chat. And then someone says they're going to riz them up. And then later someone says, slide into my DMs, referring to this narrator individual who has the role of 13 to 17. So yeah, there's minors being hit on in the server pretty openly and pretty unchecked by, well, everyone who's supposed to be moderating and in charge of this server and community. Then it gets worse, because of course it does, right? So as this user says, not Earth updates, basically admitting to not giving a F if someone got groomed in their server, it's not their fault. So this is a response to someone saying you shouldn't let minors get groomed in your server. This is what they said in response.
You shouldn't let minors get groomed in your server.
Yeah, there's like, it's a fucking server from like 4 years ago. There's fucking no moderation in there, so anything could happen. That's not really my problem. It's a fucking Discord chat, and if people have a fucking problem in there, they can leave. It's fucking, like, you can check all my message history in there. I literally don't even talk.
But I do think if there's a problem, like someone.
What?
But how's
You shouldn't let minors get groomed.
So hearing the possibility and the threat of kids being groomed in that server as a result of the lack of moderation and also the 13 plus requirement, they basically say, I don't care. I don't care if it happens. And also, it's basically their fault for being there. What an insane thing to say, by the way. And also, they're talking about that they're not in the server. Clearly, we've seen messages replying from years back. Of course, you've had some sort of a history here.
Yeah, but Lolly is clearly worse than this, isn't it? Acolytes, for fuck's sake. And by the way, if you make a Discord server under your name and you just leave it for some reason, you delete that shitter. You know why? Because shit like this can happen. And if you don't delete it, you have to moderate it somehow. Because it's still attached to your name. Or you say, hey, I'm out here. I don't want to have to do anything with this anymore. And change the name. So your community can act as they wish. But not like this. It's still your responsibility at the end of the day. And I think that a lot of people don't understand what responsibility actually means.
And to make matters worse, like, again, trying to put the blame on them and saying, well, I don't moderate the server. Well, it's your responsibility. You know there's a bunch of kids in your community and you're just letting them run rampant on Discord. Like, it's so irresponsible. And then it gets worse. Because of course it does. So Mizu here, who's a VTuber and content creator, they would get into the space, the second one, and start pressing them about apparently someone who's a part of their team who's doing some incredibly suspicious things.
hello, test 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I just figured I'd come in since I'm probably one of the only people in here that's an actual other creator on this platform that has some stake in it. Compared to all these random people. I really only had a question for y'all, since this is all like y'all's opinion that everyone's talking about. You said what your Earth Updates account is run by like you, your wife, and a couple interns or something?
Yeah, a couple interns. Yeah.
Which one of you is pretending to be a 13 to 17-year-old on Discord to meet kids?
None
One
of
of you has your age listed as 13 to 17 on for the Discord for it.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Man, hook, line, and sinker. First of all, interns. Imagine being an intern for this dumbass gimmick account. But also, they got rung right in, basically with this 13 to 17-year-old labeled person who's a part of their team, who's clearly an adult. Which, if you're doing that, then what other reason are you doing that other than trying to be around kids, which is super, super, super suspicious. And in response to that, they basically said, that's interesting.
well, you can send that or something, post that in here.
Nah, people have been posting in your chat all day and you've been ignoring it. It's really curious behavior.
Yeah, really curious behavior. Really
Yeah, it's
weird
really
thing that you
curious
found in
when
a
the guy
fucking
calling
gimmick
people
account's Discord
pedophiles allows
server. Why don't we
12-year-olds
go
in
into a
his
gimmick
Discord?
account's Discord server and closely examine everything
Imagine
in there?
Yes. Yes, we should. If you're going to be a gimmick account with a bunch of kids in your community, I think people should go in there and try to make sure everything's okay. Yeah, I think that's actually a good thing.
Going to a
It
gimmick
sounds like
account's
you're
Discord
offended.
server
Wait,
and
it sounds like
pretending
you're
to be a
offended because you like
12-year-old.
child porn. Is that true, little buddy?
Sounds like you're offended because you meet
Are you
actual
offended because you
children
like
on your
child
Discord,
porn?
you pedophile.
These people are actual demons, dude. Like, that's
Yeah,
I've heard hyenas laugh more pleasantly than that, but they're just going to repeat that over and over again and have their cackling laugh over and over again, where basically they're deflecting this very fair criticism of what's going on here by just saying, what do you like, illegal content? Is that why you're mad? It's actually the opposite. This person is trying to make sure this stuff's not going on in your server. But anyways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now, if you have a hidden predator, as I assume, I don't know. I have no proof of that. His behavior actually just shows the line, so maybe he is, maybe he's not. But no, that sucks. Sorry, you should go handicap somebody else, somewhere else.
It gets worse. So you might have noticed there's an individual here, this Zhang person, who's an account with like almost 300,000 followers as well. They've been in every single space, right? They've been running defense for this account too, by the way, posting similar stuff about Lolicon being illegal and yada, yada, yada. They've been running defense. They've been here for every conversation. I'm wondering what they're thinking. And this is an interaction between the two where someone raises the whole thing about the safety of minors in the server. And you can hear this Zhang guy being like, hold on a second.
Quote, he said he doesn't care about adults talking sexually to minors in his Discord server, end quote.
Yep. Word for word. That's exactly what I said.
You don't care about that?
No, dude, I don't care about that. That's exactly what I said.
Why?
Of course I care about that. Dude, people are just saying anything they want to say. Fucking retards. As I said, it's a fucking chat room. It's been there for like 2 years.
Been there for 2 years, been there for 4 years. Can't really get the story straight whatsoever. But yeah, you can hear this, the Zhang person, they say that they don't care about what's going on between these minors and these adults in the server. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And then the Zhang person's like, what, you don't care? And then he's like, well, I do care. I'm just kidding. Clearly, they were only saying this because they finally felt like, oh, wait, I'm starting to look bad to my friend over here. And I got to act like this is all just a joke. It's Schrodinger's douchebag here, right? As per usual. But let's go back. More deleted tweets, and this is kind of the swan song, I guess, where this person says on the Earth updates, all right, I'm done crashing out at the Predators/Lolicons. I think I've done enough damage to their community. You have done no damage to anyone. No. The only damage you've done to anyone is yourself. You've lost thousands of followers. People are clowning on you left and right, and you're getting that attention you so desperately want. And it seems like that is kind of the goal here. Well, attention received. They said this. Just give it time. I've learned a lot about their community in the last 24 hours. One of the big lolly influencer leaders will see this and then spread it within their community. Literally like an ant's infestation, and then they will all come out to play. Very weird. Like, what are you, an anime villain here, dude? And they're referring to...
The possession point is still open. I don't know what effed up demon he has, but for F's sake, this guy has some effed up demons in him. Damn. Probably some nurglings or something like that.
To block list. So, like, they're counting on bigger accounts to make fun of them, so then they can make a block list on them. Okay, dude. Great. Good luck. Honestly, if you don't like this stuff, then yeah, you should block people. That would solve so many of your problems right now. But yeah, that's the situation. We haven't talked about a gimmick account melting down in quite some time. That's got to be one of the most embarrassing ones I've seen, and that's really saying something. We've seen a lot of meltdowns, and it's always over fictional content. Every time a gimmick account breaks character, it's fictional content. In this case, it happened again. And the Earth update today is that this account is a hypocrite and a weirdo. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts.
Yeah. It's just freaking not funny, to be honest, that shit like this happens. I mean, it's not even about the lolly thing, because there will always be antis that are misinformed. Most of them, if you talk with them like normal human beings and explain the situation, they would be like, oh, that makes sense. I'm still uncomfortable. Fair enough. Good. If you're uncomfortable, so it is. I don't care about that, but at least you're not misinformed anymore. And people like this just go this route for, oh, Yeah, sorry about that. This was my wecker. Yeah, because I actually stood up a few hours earlier today. Forgot to actually change that one. But this guy is just a pure... I don't know if he's... As it sounds from the things that he said, he sounds extremely possessed by an Nurgling. I'm just gonna stay with that one. But as it is, acolytes, have a nice day or night.